From kidnapping your future wife and eating the dead's ash, to throwing babies off a 50-foot drop, we take a look through 15 bizarre cultural traditions that actually still exist to this day. Number 15. Giraffe women. The Karen tribe of Thailand follows a bizarre tradition of wearing rings on their neck to get a large neck. They believe the large neck is a symbol of beauty and elegance and adds to their attractiveness. The girls start wearing the rings around the neck at the age of 5 to get large necks and enhance their beauty. The rings are added over time to keep the neck getting larger. Number 14. Hindu Thaipusam festival piercings. During the celebration of the religious holiday Thaipusam, Hindus declare their devotion to Lord Murugan by piercing various parts of their bodies. It is mainly observed in countries where there is a significant presence of Tamil communities such as India, Sri Lanka, and Malaysia. Painful piercings are made around the body, including the tongue. Over time, the rituals have become more dramatic, colourful, and bloody, with large spears and hooks through the chest and face. Number 13. Kidnapping your bride. In the Sudanese Latuka tribe, when a man wants to marry a woman, he kidnaps her. Elderly members of his family go and ask the girl's father for her hand in marriage, and if dad agrees, he beats the suitor as a sign of his acceptance of the union. If the father disagrees, however, the man might forcefully marry the woman anyway. So why on earth beat the suitor? Number 12. Witch hunting. A woman in Papua New Guinea was stripped, tortured with a fiery iron rod, covered in gas, and burned alive on a mound of car tires, all for being a supposed witch. If it wasn't for the gas and car tires, you'd probably assume this happened in the 16th century and not 2013. The perpetrators let mere hearsay convince them that the woman was a witch and took their revenge in horrific fashion. Number 11. Sky burials. Very few outsiders have the chance to observe this firsthand. In Tibet, it was once a common funeral custom to dissect the body and place the pieces on a mountaintop. As most Tibetans follow Buddhist traditions, the goal is to provide resources to the world, even after death, i.e. offering the unneeded body to vultures. Since the 1980s, however, it is still possible to observe at Jeta with the permission of the family. Number 10. Eating the dead's ash. Don't get shocked. Death and funerals are part of one's life. But the tradition of eating the ashes of your dead is a shocking and bizarre tradition that's been followed in the Yanomamo tribe from Brazil and Venezuela. The tradition forbids keeping any part of the deceased body. The body of the dead is burned, bones are crushed and mixed with the ashes and divided amongst the family and eaten by all. Number 9. Living with the dead. The Toraja people of Indonesia practice a bizarre ritual of exhuming corpses, but it doesn't end there. The corpse is draped in special garments and paraded around the village. The ritual aims to clean the corpses, their garments and coffins, and to ceremonially return the corpses to their home village. That is, if someone died outside the village. The corpse will be taken to the spot of death and then walked back to the village as an act of returning home. Number 8. Bullet and gloves. The most painful initial ritual for the state Maui tribe of the Amazon. Bullet ants are gathered and put in a glove. For a young man to become a man, he has to wear the glove for 10 minutes as the angry ants sting. The insect has the most painful sting in the world, only compared to a bullet hitting the flesh. However, the young men must endure this pain 20 times before they can prove they are men. Number 7. Human sacrifice. Discrete groups of Hindus still practice the now illegal tradition of sati. Sati is a funeral custom whereby a widow will throw herself, either willingly or due to social pressure, on the pyre of her dead husband and burn to death. The women do it to show devotion and piety for their husbands, but in addition to being suicide or murder, detractors argue that the practice perpetuates female subordination. Number 6. Maasai spitting. In a weird and bizarre tradition in Africa in the Maasai tribe, that is the ethnic African group found in Kenya and Tanzania, people spit on one another while greeting their friends. Before greeting elders, Maasai people spit on their hand before offering it for a handshake. They also spit on their newborn baby and avoid praising, as they believe praising will curse the child to a bad life. Number 5. Baby throwing. The bizarre ritual of throwing a newborn baby off a temple 50 foot high and catching them in a cloth has been celebrated in India since the last 500 years. It's practiced by couples who are blessed with a child after taking a vow at the temple. The ritual is observed by both Muslims and Hindus every year, and it's believed to bring health, prosperity, and luck to new arrivals. Number 4. Carrying your wife over burning coal. While not wholly specific to China, an interesting traditional Chinese custom says that a husband should carry his bride over a pan of burning coals before crossing the threshold of their home as husband and wife. According to tradition, the ritual ensures that the wife will have an easy and successful labor. Fire walking is also performed by some Chinese people as means to prevent natural disaster. Number 3. Anu bear worship. The practice involves slaughtering a hibernating mother bear in her cave, raising her cubs in captivity for 2 years, then choking or spearing them as a sign of religious devotion. This is followed by villagers drinking the bear's blood, eating the flesh, and placing the skull atop a spear wrapped with the bear's skin, which is to be worshipped. Though the practice is no longer widespread, it does still occur in some areas. Number 2. Skull binding. The old Mayan and their traditions and values have always attracted the world. But this weird and bizarre tradition of skull binding is the most shocking. The deformation is done by distorting the normal growth of the skull of a child as small as a month old for 6 months. The tradition is performed to demonstrate social status. The people with deformed, elongated heads are believed to be more intelligent, of higher status, and closer to the spirits. Number 1. Cutting off fingers. The death of a family member in the Dani tribe of Indonesia heralds a vast amount of emotional, and for women, physical pain. Aside from the emotional grief, women of the Dani tribe physically express that grief by cutting off a segment of one of their fingers. Before being amputated, the fingers are tied with a string for 30 minutes to numb them. Once amputated, the new fingertips are burned to create new scar tissue.